Okay. Oh my gosh, I think we're live. How amazing. Um, and I might give people just a couple of minutes to pop in. I am actually streaming simultaneously, believe it or not, Facebook and YouTube. And welcome. If you're watching this later, welcome anyway. It's good to see you. I am Heather, if you're wondering who this is, and I am a business coach and I run Prosperity Flow Coaching. And among other things, I do other things as well, but Prosperity Flow Coaching, business coaching, and my main um, focus is on helping health and fitness professionals and helping them become successful in their businesses. I mean, so many therapists and fitness people that I know are really, really amazing at what they do. But sadly, sometimes they struggle or they fail even and abandon the profession and go on to something else because they can't figure out how to be successful. So I help them as much as I can in setting up the business properly so that they can be successful. And by the way, if you have questions, you can always pop them into the comment box. I will see them down in the comment box and I will respond to them. Today's topic was Ask a Business Coach. And today I planned, if you've been tuning into my Build a Better Business video series, which I post up on YouTube, you will have seen we've been going through a series of kind of foundational pieces for businesses. And I've been kind of building up some pieces. I mean, the videos are only 10 minutes long. I try to keep them 10 minutes long so that you have time to watch them. But there's always more to expand on, right? Good morning, Carol. So nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Um, uh, where am I? Oh, yes. So I post these videos and I wanted to go into deeper. Um, I'll go back to the beginning one where we were talking about your customer. But I mean, there is some people who go into business have something they want to offer someone. There's something that they feel is of value, and it is a value, right? There's something of value that you're offering to people. And when I started my first video where I talked about the customer, I assumed that you probably kind of already had your business in mind. If you didn't already have your business in mind, you might want to get clear on what that is, and it can evolve. It's not set in stone, right? So getting clear on what value you're bringing to your customers. And another way to say that is, what problem does your customer have that they really want solved that you can do for them? Now, with customers, you want them to you want to find the ideal customer for you, right? So the problem that you're solving, you might think it's an easy thing. So something in I've heard people use, your zone of genius, your your zone, your flow, something that you just flow in and it feels so easy for you. You can't believe that it's not something someone else could just do as easily as you. But believe it, it's not something people can do easily. That's why they're going to come to you to do it. So what is I'm going to steal someone else's term, zone of genius that you're offering to this customer? And this customer is going to come to you because you are the perfect person to solve this problem for them. So with that in mind, when you're talking about your ideal customer, they are the person that comes to you and they sell you and they praise you and they're ready and they're willing and they're able and they want your value that you're bringing them, the problem that you're solving for them. Now, the problem that you're solving for them is going to be unique to that person, but if you find a group of people with the same problem, then you've got a business, right? You're solving all these people's problems. Look how many businesses there are in the world. I mean, more and more are being invented every day. And the interesting thing is, in this world where the world keeps changing, new businesses are coming up every day. If you just got to watch the internet to see all these new things popping up, they're so amazing. So when you've got a handle on what it is that you're bringing to your customer, the next thing you want to do is what was our first video, I think it was 28 or something, 27, is you're going to dive into really defining who that customer is. And you're going to target all of your marketing to that customer, right? So you're going to target it so that all of the communications go to that specific customer. They don't have to be a real person. They're just someone that you have in your mind. So when you're writing your marketing, when you're writing your advertising, you're going to think, you know, maybe that you could give them a name, Susan. Maybe Susan would like that. Would Susan, you know, resonate with that? Would Susan find that interesting? So you don't have to use Susan. Use whatever name you want. But you want to find your ideal customer. And I've heard resistance to this. I used to teach at the Shiatsu school. I taught marketing and business and communications and accounting and all rolled into one. And when I brought up the, you know, targeting your advertising to one specific customer, people would say, "Oh, but I, but this is good for everyone. I want to treat everyone." Well, granted, when your business is open, anyone is welcome. But the thing is that when you target your marketing to everyone, you're going to reach no one, right? So if you target your marketing at your ideal customer, knowing other customers will see it, knowing other people will come in, then you actually get some traction and you get some momentum. And that's not to say you're not going to welcome other customers in. So I'm going to use, it's not a health and business related or health and fitness related, but I'm going to use the example of a grocery store. So everybody needs groceries, right? Everybody in the world needs groceries. But if you look around, if you pay attention to the grocery stores, they are targeting specific segments of the market. And I'm going to use Loblaws as an example because if you're in Canada, you know what Loblaws is. And it's just a really good example that I'm quite familiar with. So Loblaws, your general Loblaws store targets your middle of the road person, right? But they have other banners because they know not everybody is going to want to shop at a Loblaws. They have a no frills banner that targets as certain people who want, you know, deals. They don't want the fancy stuff. They just want to get in, get their stuff, and get out. So the no frill stores, as your, you know, people who want a deal. You've got your Loblaws stores. They've even got a little Loblaws markets that are more like shopping in a little European market. You know, maybe I remember one of the Loblaws that I used to shop at had live music on the weekends, a pianist playing that echoed over the store. You know, little samples, and you go to the superstores, and it's like going to a shopping mall. So the people who want to get everything in one store, literally everything. You can get your underwear and your eggs and milk and, you know, probably a hockey stick. I don't know. And then you go to the Costco type shopper who wants bulk bargains. So you go to the wholesale clubs. So all of these stores live inside underneath the corporation of Loblaws, right? But they are targeting specific markets. They're like, we're going to go after this group of people with this store, this group of people with this store. So you, if you're a sole business practitioner, don't try to have 10 different offerings to 10 different people. You'll lose your mind. Pick one to start with. Pick, you know, your one target market. Maybe you specialize in fitness. Maybe you specialize, or I was thinking massage. So maybe you specialize in like massage for athletes. So then your target market would be an athlete, but you could even hone it down closer and closer. You know, you want to treat hockey players who are training for training camp for the NHL. I mean, that's really specific, but you can zoom in that much and he's 6 feet tall and or you can zoom out a little bit. So as you're writing marketing, you zoom in and you zoom out, but you don't want to zoom out so wide that you're just saying, oh, everybody. Because if you say, oh, everybody, it's just too wide a dispersion. You don't get any traction and you don't get the number of clients that you want coming in, right? So, I've heard it referred to as your avatar, your ideal customer avatar. So you can build an image of what this person is in your mind. So you can think about, does gender matter? Maybe, maybe it doesn't. How old are they? You can write all these down. So if you write all these down and you get a really clear picture, it helps you write your advertising. How old are they? What's their education level? Did they go to high school? Did they go to university? Or did they get a doctorate? Do they have children? How many? Where do their kids go to school? What neighborhood do they live in? Are they married? Are they divorced? Are they? Do they like to travel? What magazines do they like to read? Do they read magazines? Do they gather all their information online? I mean, I'm 50-50. Some of my magazines are electronic, and some of them I actually like the paper in my hands, right? And that's going to feed into how old they are, whether they like paper or they go all digital. Where do they vacation? Where do they go on vacation? Do they go on family vacations? Do they go on couples vacations? What food do they like to eat? What social media are they on? If you can get the information on the demographics of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, the demographic of TikTok is probably shifting now that the grown-ups are forcing their way in. But oh my gosh, poor old TikTok. But and now Instagram Reels. Like, who understands Instagram Reels? I need a millennial to come and help me with that one. But anyway, so you can figure out all of the details about who you think your customer is. And once you figure that out, then it's super easy to get in there and once you know where they are and where to reach them, then you can reach them, right? Then you can get in there, find out whether your offering is something they are actually interested in, right? And whether your price points are right. So here's the thing to do. When you get your picture of that ideal customer, then do some market research. Go out and find these people. And before you start trying to sell to them, I mean, sure, if you've got something they want right away, but some market research is always interesting. So go out and maybe if they're on Facebook, you can find the Facebook groups they're in and just post a question. Maybe it's like, what do you think was more important? Or what do you value? So one of the people that I follow, she was making a comment about what's their not discretionary, their luxury items. So what do they spend money on? Even though it's a luxury item. And, some people will say Starbucks, or, like I go to a place called Float. Shout out to Float, which is, believe it or not, sensory deprivation. Yes, you just lay in a tank of water. And I have friends who think that I'm insane because they're like, you're in there with the door shut. They have claustrophobia and they think that's crazy. But I find it very calming and relaxing. So that's my luxury item. Even through all of COVID, I kept my subscription going, knowing that I was eventually going to return and that I wanted that. And at the end of COVID, I would probably really need it, right? So, and when you're thinking about your clients, I know I skipped around a little bit. So we were talking about all of the things you know about them. One of them is their luxury items. And when you're doing your market research, find out, are you a luxury item? Or are you a staple? Some people are going to consider you a luxury item. Some people are going to consider you a staple. So my other business, I'm a massage therapist, one of my other businesses. And there are clients who consider massage therapy 100%. I mean, I consider massage therapy 100% part of your self-care regime to keep your body healthy and moving, right? But there are clients, and you can have those conversations with them. They absolutely consider that it is a luxury item. And that's neither right or wrong, but when you're targeting your ads, if for the people who consider it a necessity, you don't need to target them as much as you want to target the people who think it's a luxury item. Maybe you want them to encourage them to take care of themselves. Maybe, was it shampoo or hair dye or something? It's expensive and I'm worth it. That ad campaign went for a while, right? Maybe I'm showing my age. If you remember what the ad campaign was for, put it in the comment box because I can't remember. But when you understand the behaviors of how they purchase and how they consume, then you can have the information that you're providing them, the the advertising that you're targeting for them, specifics to have them take action. And I mean, education is always great, but you always want to encourage them as well. And by the way, in case you've showed up in the middle of this, if you have questions, because it is Ask a Business Coach, or you're just going to sit here and listen to me talk the whole time, pop me a little question, because I will be able to see them coming up into the chat box. And yes, there we are. And I know that it's a little bit delayed. By the way, how do you like my green screen? I was trying to decide, do I want a coffee shop background? Anyway, so customers, if you aren't clear yet on what your value is, you're going to have to take that exercise first, right? So I was in a quick little webinar last night, and she had an interesting exercise where she wanted you to write down all of the ideas of, just brain dump, write down all the ideas of your the problems you're going to solve for your customers. So you just plop them all down. L'Oreal, yes, Deanna, you're right. The I'm Worth It campaign. I knew it was something to do with the hair or cosmetics or something. So you pop. So an exercise to help you if you don't know what you want. And it's, maybe you have too many ideas. I often have too many ideas. I don't know where to begin. So I pop them all down. It pop down all your ideas that you have in a list. Leave some space on the right-hand side. And then you think about, what's your experience level with that? Like, do you know tons about that and you could talk about it all day? Or do you need some more work on that? You need to do some more work on that. The other one was, that would be a guess, was profitability. So how profitable do you think it would be to run that program? And the third one is just gone from my head right now. I'll have to come back to that one. But it's trying to help you pick something to start with, because the longer you sit and think about what to do, then the less things are going to be getting done, right? So one of the ways that we sabotage ourselves is we think we're not ready yet. And we procrastinate because we're like, oh, I'm not ready because I have to have this and this and this and this in place. If that was true, I wouldn't be on live right now, because you should have seen me 20 minutes ago trying to get everything ready, right? So just do it. I saw this quote recently that said, if you aren't embarrassed by your first attempt, then you waited too long to start. So the first thing to do is start. So if you're not in business yet, even if you are in business, maybe you're targeting the wrong thing. Write down everything you want to be able to offer your customers, your clients, all the problems that you want to be able to solve for them. Figure out which one you're best at right now. Doesn't mean it's not going to change. Figure out which one, rank which one is going to probably be the most profitable, because you need a quick win to pay the bills, right? And then you just get on with it and do it. If you're missing some things, figure out what you're missing and go out and get them. Get some help if you need it, right? There are people out there to help you. Hello, coaches are there to help you as well. How do you think I got up here in front of you guys? Psh, my coach. No, he's very nice. Rod, if you're watching, you're super nice. I'll talk to you in a little while. So seriously, stop sitting and waiting. You got to get up and do it. So you know what you want to offer. Figure that out. You know who your client is. Figure that out. Don't skip that step, because that step is an important step. The people who skip that step are the people who are sitting in their offices, in their businesses, wondering why nobody's coming to see them. You always have this idea, as soon as you put something up, everybody's going to see it and everyone's going to know, and then things will just happen. But it actually takes effort. It's not hard. It's simple, but it's not easy. That's what I'm trying to say. It's simple, but it's getting up and doing it. I feel like I'm preaching. Sorry. So, my friends, there's a little bit of a delay in the feed, but I am anticipating questions. If you don't have any questions, my God, my videos must have been so amazing and they answered all your questions. Not, come on, seriously. And maybe you don't know what your question is yet. And that's okay too. If you're just need time to percolate, and think about that, that's perfectly all right, because that's how I operate. So often I will take information, and it takes me a little while to sift through it for it to correlate into some kind of form that I can work with that makes sense to me. It's like my brain has to rejig it around in a way that makes sense for me. And then once that happens, boom, it's like, okay, I get it now. And then I'm off and I'm doing it. So these live streams will be coming out, I'm going to say monthly at this point, probably on Monday afternoons. If there's a better time, well, we'll record them and I'll post them up on the YouTube. If you want to make sure you don't miss any, you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel. I highly recommend it so you don't miss anything. I have another video coming out this week on the Build a Better Business and another brick in our wall of building. And what else was I going to say? I can't remember what else I was going to say. Oh, well, it happens. So the live streams are probably going to be only a half an hour. We're coming up to that just about now. And but I do intend these to be useful for the people who come to attend. And I do want you to be able to ask questions. I think next month we'll be talking about, actually it will be, it's going to talk about coaching and how you can use coaching in whatever your business is, understanding how to use coaching to help your clients move to a new space. Maybe you're a fitness professional, maybe you're a massage therapist, maybe you're a Pilates teacher, maybe you are a business manager, maybe you just manage your own clinic and you've stopped working. Being able to coach people versus boss people around is actually way more useful and will help people get into that space where they can make those changes. I used to be a manager. I had a staff, and I'll tell you, coaching them gets you way further than just bossing them around. I've seen really good bosses and I've seen really bad bosses. I did spend 15 years as an executive and in the land of corporate, believe it or not. And for sure, the bosses who can support their staff and help them grow versus, what's that pigeon boss, flies in, craps all over everything and leaves. Those ones don't get as many results, sadly. So thanks, Carol. You're so awesome. Yeah, so that's all I've got for you today. I'll wait a couple minutes to see if there's any questions coming in. But if you have questions, pop them in the comment box later. If something comes to you later, just pop it in the comment box because I will definitely be monitoring and answering. And also, I wanted to add, if you had future topics that you were interested in, because I'm always looking for what people are interested in, future topics for the video series that comes out every week, leave me a comment because for sure I will add that in. One of the ones in March, I think it was March, was about taxes. Someone asked me a question about taxes. So then the taxes kind of took over the, the video series for a little while, but it's complicated, So my friends, if there are no more questions, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time and your attention. And I can't wait to see you again soon. I hope you have an amazing week. Peace, my friends. Take care.